Hi everyone. Well, today I'm going to share a tip on how to gesso over a canvas that you've already painted on. I think a few of us have those in our cupboard where we started something and then come back and not felt it anymore and thought, oh well, we'll just start again. So that means that you can bring back any canvas that you have painted on back to life and start with a new painting. So what I would always encourage you to do if you actually have painted something, finished something, is to photograph it, just so that you've got that there as a record as to what painting you actually had prior to it, because sometimes you can go back and think, oh, I wish I kept that image. So I always encourage you to photograph your canvases, no matter whether you like them or not. It's just nice to actually have them there, just to be able to refer back to. So what we need before you get started is some good quality gesso. I'll show you that one. Just make sure we're getting it up nice and close to the camera. That's a Matisse brand, and that's the one I usually use. There's lots of different brands. The cheaper ones don't work as well, so just go with a well-known brand. That's cost me $22. So that's sort of around about the price you pay for a tub that size. There's a half size of that as well if you're not using a lot of gesso. The other thing, I've got a spatula. It can be a metal spatula or plastic spatula. It could be just a knife with a nice rounded edge or something, just to be able to scoop up the paint. And a roller with a sponge head on it. And your spray bottle of water. So this is just my tips on how I actually do gesso, and even when I prepare a canvas, this is the way I do it. There's lots of different ways. You can just keep on layering with paintbrushes and things, but this is how I do it. So I'm not saying mine's the right way, but this is a nice easy way to get it done. It just takes a few more coats because they're nice and thin, each layer. All right, we'll get started. Okay, so this is a canvas from one of my workshops along the way that I've done as an example background, but I've continued on with a different background. So it's been in the cupboard, and I'm about to start doing the filming for a new online workshop, and this is the perfect size. So I thought instead of going off and buying another one, I'd use this one, and just thought, I need to show you guys how to do the gesso again. It's been a while since I've done a gesso video. So the rules are pretty easy. It's sort of really not too, I just give it a bit of a spritz just to have it so that it, not a lot, that's just water. And I've got my gesso, and I'm putting my spatula in it, and I'm just going to, now you guys just do it flat. I'm doing it this way for the camera, but it's just as easy to do it flat. So I'm being fairly liberal. I'm just sort of, now some people will do this all over the canvas as an option as well as getting the gesso on. That'll give you a thicker coverage, but maybe not as smooth as what I like. So out there. On a wobbly old easel. I've got my canvas sitting up on the edge too, so it's easier access. Right, it's probably enough to get started with. Just stick that down there. Now I'm just going to spritz my roller a bit as well. It just makes it easier to move around. Now I'm going to hold this because it's on the edge of the canvas. As I said, it's easier if it's flat. I just thought this was a easier angle for you guys to see what I'm doing. So just rolling. And this first coat, you're still going to be able to see through it. And that's the other thing. If what you're putting on top has lots of layers and a similar tone to what's already there, you probably only need to put maybe one coat on or two at the most, because you're not really trying to make it completely brand new looking. So, it goes a long way. Right out to your edges. What I'm coming back is going to be similar colours to these, so I'll probably only do a couple of coats. You can do your edges as well, depending on if you've done your edges in the first place. Just helps. Go around the other side. I'm not going to be too fussed because my top colour is the same colour as what I'm going to be using in the next painting. So, if you've got a nice sunny day, you whack that out in the sun. If you don't, you can let it dry for a few hours, or you can dry it with your hairdryer. So I'll give it a bit of a dry and come back and we'll do the next coat. See you in a sec. So I have come back and done one more coat exactly the same way, and I am now going to do another one. So the same sort of thing, but you just need less gesso with each coat, because you're really just getting that extra top on there to knock back anything underneath. And you'll probably find you've still got a fair bit of paint left in your roller. Now, if you're going to leave it for a while in between coats, then make sure you wash your roller out. So, because the paint will dry in there, and then that'll make your roller useless. But I've just pretty much done mine. One coat dried off the hairdryer, second coat dried off the hairdryer. Now I'm coming back with a third coat. Same thing. So, and as I said, I do not need to have mine completely looking like a new canvas, because I'm going for a similar colour palette that was already on there. Certainly up the top anyhow, not the green down the bottom. But so just spreading it around. It's a little bit firmish, so I'm just going to spritz. Not a lot, just a little bit. You don't want it to. That just helps the paint move around more easily. Now, I used to recommend that people did this to their canvases before they start painting just with a brand new canvas, because some of the canvases that you buy are lower quality, and because of all the water techniques I use, the paint can seep through the holes in the canvas if it hasn't been gessoed properly. But of late, the Montmartre that I normally buy have been quite well gessoed before I get them, so I haven't been worrying. So it really depends on the canvas you've got. Any good quality canvas won't need to be gessoed before you start painting normally, but the cheaper ones have got a lot of plastic in them, and the plastic repels water, so that doesn't work with any of the water type techniques that I use. So you do need to gesso over the top of them. And look, some really cheap ones, no matter how much you gesso them, they're still rubbish. So I would keep away from the really cheap, skinny-edged student style canvases if you want to be able to sell your canvases or keep them for any length of time. So that's pretty much looking, pop it off there, like a new canvas to me. Tiniest little bit still coming through, but that's just about it. So I'd probably recommend leaving it to really dry and cure before you start painting. But it's as easy as that, and it just saves you from sort of actually wasting canvases or throwing them out or giving them away, that you can just bring them back to life again, and you've got a whole new canvas to start on. So that's just my tip for the day. So have a look in your cupboards and see whether you've got some that need bringing back to life and might get you all painting again. Anyhow, wash this now before you put it away, because otherwise that little sponge will be completely useless. So anyhow, bye for now. Bye-bye.